folks, Dad here with Elevation Diecast Racing. It is time for the RealRider giveaway race. We're going to run these cars down Mile High Raceway. Drivers have chosen, the first 16 people who commented a car chose the car to be in this race, and those of you that wanted to jump in that ride and have a chance, if it wins, to get in a hat drawing if multiple drivers are in that car. So that's how we'll work it. Here is the order of the cars into the bracket. Some of these do better than some basics, we'll just put it that way. So without any further ado, and today's feature channel, we're going to be watching some Zamac racing. This is his latest upload with some gift cards and miscellaneous Hot Wheels and some things that he'll be sending out to different racetracks. If you have not subscribed, go over there and check him out. He just got back from the Chase Family Racing with a good showing, and definitely support your local drag racer. All right, first up in the blocks, in lane number 2 is the Batman Justice League, picked and driven by 131 Racing. He'll be taking on the 1987 Chevy Caprice. It's Mr. Red Pill himself and Alva 1370 Racing. Here we go. Let's see some fast Real Riders. Wow, Caprice taking off like a shot. 2141 is the time to beat. Caprice 2137. And with that, just set the Real Rider record. 2149 by my Lycan Hypersport was the current record. So Red Pill getting himself on the board once again in the Real Rider category. Let's roll them. Next up in the blocks, we have the Forza Nissan Skyline, driven by the Stone Ponies Racing and Henry Stanislawski, taking on the Track Day Chevelle, driven by Madman Diecast Racing, Brian at 4114 Racing, and Chris Wilson. Let's see who gets down the lane first. Nissan. Oh, man. Did you see the wide body Chevelle drive around him on the big end? Oh, my. 2188. We'll switch him up. 2188 is the time for that Nissan. If he wants to move on, he gets the jump. 2179, wow, and he will get it on the outside lane to move on to round number 2. Next up, car number 13 in lane number 2 is the Dodge Viper, picked and driven by Poverty Hollow Diecast Racing, going up against the only Johnny Lightning in this event, the 1985 Toyota pickup truck, driven by Knights and Sense Racing. Viper, wow, 2153 is the time to beat. 2150. Coincidentally, that Toyota is the best time it's put down since I've been working them. Sometimes those Johnnies, they just don't like to roll on the Real Riders. What a beautiful truck, though. Next up in lane number 2 is the 98 Toyota Altiza, picked and driven by 7th Avenue Diecast, also driving it's the Scale Racing channel, taking on the Lycan Hypersport, picked and driven by the Northern Roads Racing and Max Thunder 2. Let's see who gets down the lane first. This ought to be a good race. Wow, Lycan Hypersport just turned on the turbo boosters on the last 4 feet of the track here. 2155 is the time to beat. Lycan Hypersport taking off once again. 2153 will get him on to round number 2. And I was wrong. That was the Mercedes, not the Altiza. Let's see here. They look just alike in our next up here. That was the Mercedes 500E, driven by Dutch Clutch Racing and a Zamac Speed Shop. So my apologies. That was the Mercedes that just ran and unfortunately lost, because you know how I like my Mercedes. So next up is the Altiza, this time driven by 7th Avenue Diecast and the Scale Racing channel, taking on that Fast and Furious Chevelle, driven by Grandma's Boy Racing. Let's see how these two do. Wow, Altiza taking off, 2157. Altiza up. Can the Chevelle catch him? Not today. 2163, moving the Altiza to round number 2. Next up from the Fast and Furious, it's the AAR Cuda, picked and driven by Steel City Mafia Racing. They'll be taking on the Bugatti from Majorette, picked and driven by NZ Racing. Hello, New Zealand. Oh man, and the AAR gets out on him. 2174 is the time to beat. Closer race that time, 218. And the Cuda moving on to round number 2. All right, next up in the blocks, another Majorette VW TI wagon drag bus, driven and picked by Freedom Diecast Drag Racing. He'll be taking on the other Skyline in this event from the Gran Turismo 7, picked and driven by Sugar Booty Racing. It's Ray Sugar. Also jumping in this car was Lobotomy Scam, Southern Diecast Challenge, and TNT Thurston. Wow, there he goes, 2166. That's a good time for a RealRider. 2166 is the time to beat. Bus gives him a run, but Nissan Skyline moving on to round number 2. And last up in the blocks, in the far lane, the 2012 Mercedes-Benz C63 AMG Coupe Black Series, picked and driven by Aramis Rodriguez, taking on the Double Demon, driven and picked by Gary's Diecast Collection. Mercedes, 2158, pretty good time. And we do have a track temperature of 72 degrees. Run number 2 and 2158, the time to beat. 2154, moving the Mercedes on to round number 2. All right, winners advancing to round number 2 are on the right-hand side. And if you picked a car for this event, I really appreciate and thank you for entering this for your chance to win a car. All right, Stone Ponies Diecast taking on Red Pill and Alva. Let's see it. Good race. Wow, 2145 is the time to beat. Wow, 2138. Good time. All right, next up is the Viper and the Lycan Hypersport. Good race. 2143 to 47. Good times. Viper needs to beat a 2143. Oh, he won't do it. And the Lycan Hypersport moving on to round number 3. All right, it's the Cuda and the Altiza. Good race. Altiza takes him 2172. 2172 the time. Cuda just all over the place. 2157, better time. Altiza moving on. Last matchup of the quarters is the Gran Turismo Skyline taking on the 2012 Black Series Mercedes. Good race. Mercedes pulling it off. 2153 is the time to beat. Mercedes going to get it. 2153. Rolling consistent. And we're down to the last 4. So if you see your car, you have a chance at winning this thing still. All right, it's the particular race where third place won't matter, but we're going to find out anyway. Who's going to the finals? Is it going to be the Caprice or the Lycan Hypersport? Good race. Caprice 2138 is the time to beat. Look at him go. Nice 2138 this time by the Lycan. The Caprice having the bigger beat in the first race is going to move him to the final race. Mercedes taking on the Altiza. Good race. Mercedes getting them 2149 to 54. 2149 is the time. And the Mercedes is going to move on to the final race. And for spot number 3, 2146 to 61. And 2146 is the time. Good race that time, 2143 to 46. And for our final race, it is Mr. Red Pill himself in the 1987 Chevy Caprice, along with Alva 1370 Racing, taking on Aramis Rodriguez in his 2012 Mercedes. Fastest time after lane swaps will win the race and the car. Good race. 2151 to 56. 2151 is the time to beat. And Mr. Red Pill himself, Red Pill Racing, has got himself a winner. Congratulations. Now we got to go to the hat drawing because there's another rider with you, Alva 1370. Okay, so what I've done, I've got Alva 1370 and Mr. Red Pill himself and a couple of decoy tags. I'm going to mix them up really well, and we're going to have an innocent bystander from the crowd pick one of these out of the hat, and the first name that comes up will win the car. All right, Isaiah's mom has volunteered, and she's going to pick one. What's it say? What's it say? Read it.
Mr. Red Pill himself.
There it is. So there is your winner of the car, the man who picked it. That was as fair as I could possibly make it, and congratulations. We will do more of these in the future. I enjoyed doing this. I like to give things away, and this is a fun way to do it. Finding speed. Whether it be real riders, funny cars, or character cars. We're looking for speed anywhere diecast is. So let me know down in the comments, Red Pill, if your address is current on the one I have on file, and we'll confirm that and get this and a few other cars out to you. And it just wouldn't be right if we didn't run that car first against my Mercedes. I do have a Mercedes here. It's different from the one that ran in window down. So this is my fastest car. We'll give him a couple laps. 2148. My Caprice sits number 2. Well, let's see. Red Pill could find himself on the top of the RealRider rank. Oh, he does. 2137, tying the record. 2137 and greater than 6 is what I would need. 2134, no way! No way! Woo! I got the record and won. Wow, that's crazy. That I did not expect that. Oh my Lanta, I didn't expect that. Alright, so my Caprice has a gold trunk lid, and the Red Pill, well, here's a stock. And he got me. 2138 to 49. 2138 and greater than 11. Wow, 2141. Not enough to get him. So Red Pill Racing would be second overall in the RealRider ranks with a RealRider car. He just won. How about that? I want to thank everybody again for participating. Thanks for hanging out. We will see you soon. The next video you are most likely to see is going to be a Matchbox versus Hot Wheel Decide Your Ride. I finally got some cars together. I think will be exciting to watch, seeing how they roll down the track. So until then, from all of us over here at Elevation Diecast Racing, if your car isn't fast, at least it'll look cool on the shelf. See ya.